Newly obtained records by KENS 5 are raising even more questions about why the Bexar County Sheriff's Office did not involve its mental health unit in a call that resulted in the death of combat veteran Damian Daniels.
Eyewitness News reporter Mariah Medina breaks down what deputies learned the day before Daniels was fatally shot.
We knew what was wrong before we went.
Just one day before deputies fatally shot combat veteran Damian Daniels, Daniels had called deputies himself, telling them he believed his house was haunted and that he was hearing voices, an incident report today revealed. The report says Daniels not only told deputies he had been diagnosed with paranoia, but that he had also skipped his meds. Though even with that information, not a single member of the Sheriff's Office's 16-person mental health unit was sent to Daniels' home in far northwest Bexar County, where they were called the next day.
Someone from that 16-member team should have gone, and somebody from the Center for Healthcare Services should have gone out there.
The sheriff last week said there wasn't enough time.
Deputies were not able to find a break in action to go call for the mental health unit. They had to go with what they had. They were in front of an individual that they felt was maybe a danger to himself or others.
What's more is that the sheriff says he doesn't think his mental health unit would have responded any differently, despite the fact that the unit is among a select pool of deputies equipped with less than lethal 40mm launchers, which have been used to incapacitate suspects without killing them. Another tool deputies could have potentially used the day before the deadly shooting, an emergency detention, which is typically reserved for people who are a danger to themselves or others. Though the report for the incident says officers asked Daniels whether he wanted to harm himself, and he responded no. Deputies returned to duty after telling Daniels to go inside and take his medicine. They instructed him to call if he needed them again. The next time deputies would respond to Daniels' home would be the last.
I just think we handled it the wrong way.
KENS 5 reached out to the sheriff's office, but a representative told us the sheriff was not immediately available for an interview. Mariah Medina, KENS 5 Eyewitness News.